All right, let's talk about fire safety. We've got Brian Levesque, the Fire Prevention Officer. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, you're very welcome.
All right, let's talk about the hot pot here and some tips when we're cooking. How can we get these under control? What should we look for?
Well, what we should look for is that because it is the holiday season, we want to make sure people are super safe around the kitchen and you're cooking, you have friends and family over, you want to make sure that things are safe. And quite often what happens is that you get entertaining guests and then we forget about the pot on the stove. So typically what happens, pot on the stove, right? Then it could start to flame over on you, and you got a flash fire situation where people might panic. And this is what we don't want people to do. We don't want people to panic and rush over and throw some water on the stove, particularly if you have any oils inside. Then you're going to have a flash over in the kitchen, and then instead of a pot on the stove fire, you're going to have a completely engulfed kitchen fire and quite easily injure yourself or anybody else around there. Best thing you can do is that you want to turn the stove off. So take away the heat source, and then you simply and very carefully cover up the flame and let the pot cool off. Don't take it off too early because it could reignite because the oil is still very, very hot. That's one of the cooking things we want to make sure that you look after yourself that way, and also make sure that you're not cooking with any long sleeves, particularly in the morning. You know, not too many men are cooking the house coats, but you want to watch the mums or the guests that you have over so they're not having long sleeves that are touching a hot element.
So calm. Be calm, react, know what the plan is.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to be calm and make sure that you're not doing anything, panicking too much, and quickly throw a cup of water on there, because that will cause a whole lot more damage than in a very short matter of time.
Okay. Now, candles are very popular.
Absolutely. Candles are popular, and I love candles just as much as the next person, but my favorite candles are the LED type. Because they're just so safe. So they look fairly realistic, but I know a lot of people do like the real deal. And all we ask is that you make sure that they're all extinguished when you go to bed at night. And if you're going to have candles in some sort of receptacle, make sure that they are, in case they do burn down, you do forget about them, that they're not going to melt and go over your furniture and catch anything on fire. And certainly don't put them near the Christmas tree. Don't put them near any combustible furniture or curtains.
Are there some candles that are more dangerous than others, like bigger is worse or smaller or anything? I mean, are they all the same?
You know, they all have an open flame. So the whole idea is that once we have an open flame in the house, we want to be mindful of the fact that we do have flames, and we want to make sure that they're extinguished so that when you go to bed at night, you don't want to hear your smoke alarm going off and have that be the reminder that your candle has caught your drapes on fire in your house.
Now, what about as far as Christmas light?
Well, Christmas lights, that's another one now. There's a lot of LED lights that are on the market now, but there's some people still have the old incandescent lights. We want to make sure that people, when they do buy lights, that they're very cognizant of the fact that some lights are designed for outside, some lights are designed for inside. Make sure that you follow the manufacturer's recommendations about how you put the lighting in. If you do have your old lights that you've stored in the garage, perhaps for the last 11 months of the year, make sure the wires are not frayed, you're not plugging too many lights in sequence there together, and just follow some simple guidelines so that you're making sure that you have a good, safe holiday.
What about as far as leaving the LEDs on all night on your Christmas tree?
LEDs are, again, there is no serious heat that comes off them, but there is still electricity in the wires, so we would recommend that if you're going to go to bed at night, just simply shut everything down for the night, and this way you're taking energy away from the tree, particularly if it's a real tree, and they can get a little dry over time, so you want to make sure that we remove any element that you're going to have a surprise overnight with any kind of ignition with your tree.
Fabulous. All great tips. I mean, it is we're a little bit casual at times.
Absolutely.
You know, with everything. And it really can flare up quite quickly, whether it's the stove or the candles or the Christmas lights.
And we want to make sure that people that have trees, if we can segue from the lights into the trees, if you do have a real tree, make sure that you're buying one that the needles aren't going to fall off as soon as you're in the house. Make sure that it is well watered. Don't place it near a heat source. Certainly don't have any space heaters nearby it, and look after it.
So it's a lot of common sense things,
Absolutely.
What I'm seeing or what I'm hearing, I should say.
Yes, yeah, it's a lot of common sense stuff that the Edmonton Fire Rescue Service wants to get that message out through public education. We want people to have a safe and enjoyable holiday, and we really don't want to see the fire trucks rolling up to someone's house just because of a simple thing that, because of the holiday, we're all in holiday mode. We may have guests and family over. The house is a little extra crowded, and sometimes we get a little forgetful about some of the basic stuff we do every day.
So I'm just going to take a stab as we wrap this up. No candles on the trees? That's
No,
probably not-
no candles on the tree, right? that is a big no-no. No
Okay.
candles on the trees.
Good.
And then we'll be good. We want everyone to have a safe, enjoyable holiday.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for sharing these tips. We appreciate it. Have a good holidays.
Oh, thanks very much. Same for yourself.
All right, let's take a quick pause here on the show. Lots more still to come, including social bites, and I'll get you queued up for the Oilers game that starts in about 30 minutes' time against the Blues. Big 3-game road trip for them. Stay with us, Edmonton, for that.